First things first, rest in peace to Elijah Cummings. He was an ineffective urban quote unquote leader, but he's still a man. He still lived on this earth. And there are segments of his constituency that will miss him greatly. And so, all respects to the dead, be blessed. Now, always got to do Jersey stuff and stay on top of it. Next year, there's going to be a race for the state party chair between Leroy Jones and John Curry. Now, because New Jersey is so blue, it really is an insanely democratic state. It's the fight in and of itself that's going to determine, whether the state fully goes into national control, which, Curry represents, as opposed to local state control. It's all establishment. There are no heroes in this, but our friends over at Insider New Jersey, namely Max P, decided to, drum up some comparisons to previous contests that took place here in the state and really tie it together to what's going on right now. One of the reasons I respect the man so much is because he has a much richer knowledge of New Jersey political history than I do. I am relatively new. I am new, unwanted. I was not brought up in that stable of New Jersey politics at all. I am purely of and from the working class, but having access to, knowledge and histrionics of state politics is vitally important. And he wrote this piece in the Edward Edwards section of Insider NJ, and we're going to go over it. Roots of the War, Lesniak and the Bono State Party Chair Precedent. I don't know who that is. I guess she's a 35%. I mean, that's the funny thing about Jersey female Caucasian politicians is that, they all have that same haircut. They're all blonde and they all have that same haircut. It's pretty interesting. Former Senator Ray Lesniak did a tour of duty as Democratic State Party Chairman. Oh, okay, I'm reading that word. From 1992 to 1994. Brought in to protect Governor Jim Florio after the historic midterm backlash put the governor on unsteady legs and revealed a surge against him that ultimately washed him out of office. Lesniak, who surfaced in 2013 at the center of a party leadership conflagration, which bears a resemblance to a party fight going on right now, which could even be described as a shocking resemblance, if not for the overlapping players and party structures still jockeying for dominance. I was feeling my oats, Lesniak said, reflecting on the aftermath of the 2013 Democratic primary in Legislative District 20, which he won by 4,500 votes. 2 years after the Democratic primary fight of his life nearly cost him a seat. After coming as close as they would ever come to dethroning Lesniak in 2011, the Fajardo win of the party regrouped with a different game plan, which didn't include going against Lesniak's district mate, Assemblyman Joe Cryan. Lesniak squeaked by in 2011, in part owing to Cryan's organizing in his hometown of Union Township. So the fact that the senator could convincingly stare down Fargo 2 years after Fargo's tickets won Lesniak's hometown of Elizabeth and do it essentially on his own made him feel like he had donned 7 league boots. That was the background of what was going on when the Democrats' 2013 nominee for governor, State Senator Barbara Bono, they screwed her, announced her choice of Assemblyman Jason O'Donnell to serve as chair of the state party organization. Earlier today, Insider New Jersey asked Lesniak about current political circumstances wherein the party establishment that furnished the Economic Development Authority EDA tax incentives that benefited the business interest of South Jersey power broker George Norcross III opposes the state party chair choice favored by Governor Phil Murphy, who formed the task force examining EDA incentives, which led to investigations by the AG and the FBI. So Phil Murphy is John Curry. George Norcross is Leroy Jones. Got it? Let's continue. Hasn't selection of the state party chairman always been at the discretion of the governor? It hasn't. It always has been, with a few exceptions, Lesniak said. He reflected on Governor Brendan Bryan's selection of Dick Coffey to lead the party, prior to Coffey opposing Bryan's re-election. He considered his own attempt as chair to help Florio get re-elected. We lost by a point, the retired senator said with a laugh, but we kept important names out of the primary. The governor gets his pick, Lesniak said, because the governor usually controls the machinery of government, and there are exceptions to that rule, too. In 2013, after he won his own primary and after Bono won her primary, Lesniak placed a phone call to State Senate President Steve Sweeney. Sweeney had formed an alliance with Governor Chris Christie on the issue of pensions and benefits overhaul. Yeah, see where that got us. Which O'Donnell, a career firefighter married to a teacher, opposed. I called up Sweeney and said, "Are you looking for a candidate to run against Jason O'Donnell?" Sweeney said he was thinking about it. "Think about me," said Lesniak, sponsor of the Economic Opportunity Act of 2013, posted by Sweeney, which contained the controversial tax incentives worked on by an unregistered lobbyist employed by Parker McKay, the law firm of Norcross Brother, and affirmed by then Governor Chris Christie. A few of the names have changed, but essentially the same group that now backs Essex County Democratic Committee Chairman Leroy Jones for the chairmanship over the wishes of Phil Murphy having his own chair, John Curry, shortly thereafter released their support for Lesniak over Bono's choice, O'Donnell. One of the key players who stuck with Bono through the political ordeal and break from the precedent of a governor or nominee for governor was future U.S. Rep. Bonnie Coleman. Bono and Watson Coleman showed up around the same time at a Roselle rally thrown by then Mayor and future Assemblyman Jamel Holly, friend of the channel. Lesniak was there too. The whole scene felt a little like a dance at the gym, with allies on both sides, tension filled against the backdrop of the statewide fight. I met with Bono and Watson Coleman. Jeez, why do I keep messing her name up? Lesniak recalled. They offered me to be finance chair. He didn't want it, Sweeney called Lesniak and said they had a slim majority of support for him, which they hoped to build on before the end of the day. Then Bono called in with the offer of a compromise candidate, the former senator recalled. That was Curry, chair of the Passaic County Democratic Committee, incoming the 2012 Democratic primary, one of his county ally, U.S. Rep. Bill Pascrell. Sweeney said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Let her have it." So Bono ultimately got her choice, Insider New Jersey asked. She did, Lesniak said. It was a compromise choice. When asked about the current circumstances, and Murphy, like Bono before him, denied his own selection of the chair to lead the Democratic Party, Lesniak said, under normal circumstances, the gubernatorial candidate gets his choice. Barbara Bono didn't get her choice, Lesniak added. Incumbents that year didn't run that year with Bono. Okay, come on, Max. As Essex County Executive Joe DiVincenzo and State Senator Brian P. Stack backed Christie over his Democratic opponent, and Republicans in South Jersey districts watched in horror as Christie avoided them rather than run coordinated campaigns in districts occupied by key allies, including Sweeney and Legislative District 3. The difference now, a source close to the developing drama told Insider New Jersey, is that unlike Curry then, who emerged as the alternative to O'Donnell v. Lesniak, there is no state chair plan B to the fledgling candidacy of Essex County Democratic Chair. Jones is the establishment play, and only Jones. The source insisted. As the Essex County Democratic Committee chairman, Jones also wields considerable power as that chairman whose support is next to critical for a statewide Democrat, just as former Essex County Democratic Committee and former State Committee Chairman Tom Giblin. So, there is no compromise play at the moment, which means, a source said, that if both sides are all in and one wins, that side will not only have a redistricting leg up, but convey the advantage dimensions in a Democratic primary fight pitting Murphy, if he's still here and not in the cabinet of a Democratic president, or... Oh, okay, I see what you did there. Or an ally from what is now, for lack of a better term, the Murphy wing of the party against a party alternative lined up with the Senate president. So I've been saying it on this channel for a really long time, and I'm going to continue to keep saying it. We have an establishment war taking place here in the state of New Jersey. Let's go up to this, go back up to this lady, because she's not like, hot, but I mean, whatever. It's something, right? So we're in the middle of this war right now, and the way that this was, taken care of before was that John Curry, who currently has the position, he was placed in there as an alternate, as a compromise, so everybody can still continue to pretend to play nice. This time, not so much, and it's very interesting, at least to me, because it really determines the state politics going forward. How this plays out. Will the state remain in state control, or will the national team, which Curry will the state remain in state control, which is what Leroy Jones represents, or will the state go to the national establishment control, which is what Curry represents? Once again, there are no heroes in Trenton. All right, the people of Jersey are getting screwed no matter what. But I mean, I think it's better to get screwed by the one that you know, right? So. With that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, yeah, go ahead and do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and the like, they don't really like me like that. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Like, honestly, these videos don't get much play anyway. It really doesn't matter. But I have to have these up on the channel to prove that, I am paying attention, I'm here, and I'm still working for my constituents and those who actually want the knowledge. I want to put it out there. I want to be the one putting it out there for folks. So with that being said, until the next one.